Alright, hey, hi, hello. How's it going, guys? My name is ZetaRayZod, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It's been a little while since we played the first one, the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, but now we're moving on to the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. So yeah, before I begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. So, I can't remember the voices I gave, but you know what, we'll try. We'll try. Oh shit, my mouse is in the way. Sorry. I'm moving it out. Okay, let's see. From what I remembered last time, Susato-san went back home, and that's about it. And we solved the case, Gina's fine. Oh, there she is, speak of the devil. Oh god, her father's dead!
こうして目の覚めるような澄み渡った青空の下に立つと、ロンドンでのあの日々がまるで嘘のようでございます。懐かしい異国の大帝都。あの方はそれは立派な弁護士になられました。今もきっとかの地の法廷で勇敢に戦っていると存じます。
Probably not. Probably at home or something. Is this her dad or is it Kazuma?
ご挨拶が遅くなって本当に申し訳ございません。帰国より慌ただしい日が続いたものでございますから。それに一体誰が想像したでしょうか。この国に戻ってからたった2ヶ月。
Oh no.
今日はご報告に参りました。
I think that's Kazuma.
私は大審院の法廷に立ちます。
Oh, wait, are we doing Susato?
弁護士として。
She's a lawyer? Nice. Okay, so we're not playing as... Oh damn, she's
どう
dead.
かこのスサトに力を与えてくださいませ。
That's the lady from the first case. It was
カズマ様。
Giselle? Giselle Brett? I remember because she had the swan hat. Yeah, that's Kazuma. I thought it was a dad that died. Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney. Ah, yes. Okay, so we're not playing as Naruhodo because Naruhodo's still in England. 13 August 8:26 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature Defendants Antechamber 3. Here I am again after 9 months. Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Ah, her dad's alright. Oh, good, you're here. Doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. Hardly recognize you. Cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheep. And those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born. Wow, goodness. Not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Yujin Mikotoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. A man who, early in his life, traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Excuse me. Who's this? Oh, excuse me. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. Miss. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication. This whole thing. Ray Membami. Remember me? Oh, I forgot how crazy the names are. Remember me. Oh shit. Cause I'm like, remember me is not a Japanese name. That's not a typical Japanese name. So it's remember me. Born the same year as I, my greatest friend. Though unusual for a woman at our time, she works at the University Research Laboratory helping my father. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to become a little flushed. Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. Huh. Goodness. I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. What? Ha ha ha. It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba? Oh, am I in a disguise or something? If even your best friend can't see through the disguise, I think we can relax. Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course. So I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. Father? Done! What? Is that you, Susato? I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that... No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, the varsity cap, the varsity cape, the varsity badge! Look at you! You look for all the world just like a student at the Imperial Yuma University. A male student! I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start. But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see, it was the only way. The only way should be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial. This is because she's a woman. My defense? Remember me. Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. Gee. But women are forbidden. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door. So that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me? Do you even know law? It's just like, first thing in my mind if this happens to me is like, do you even know law? Thanks for sticking up for me since you're my friend and all, but like, can you like defend me properly? Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you. Ray. Remember me. It's so strange though. I mean, you're such an accomplished digital assistant already. And yet, just because you're a woman, what a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. Ray, please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, you really do look so dashing. You mentioned that once or twice. You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray, you're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped, and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Susato, you believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Because she's like, well, except for the previous couple of murders, I didn't do this one. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. That means so much to me, Susato. Defendant, counsel, court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty. Oh. Stand aside! She just like pushes the guys away. I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast. She just like sprints like, like that. Like the pumping hands. Well, Susato, you're certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom. And with no prior experience of being a lawyer. There's simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this.
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. I'm only worried if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
Well, we should be making a move now too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father. Am I gonna meet that guy again? What's his name? Aochi? I'm Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a field study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. Because of your pops. How many times have I wished that you were here? I wonder. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-sama.
Naruhodo sneezes into Great Britain. Oh, someone's talking shit about me. I wonder how Susato looks like.
13th August, 9 a.m.
Supreme Court of... hurry up.
Judicature, Courtroom 1.
Oh, it's him again. This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Mambami. Oh, is it because I think Kazuma cut his hair? That's why he looks like this.
The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency.
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are ready.
We're ready.
Yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo? Is that correct? Sorry? Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first thing that sprung to mind. Well, counsel? Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I am Ryutaro. He who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan. Oh. It seems Ryutaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo? A fresh face in his courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be?
Maybe thinking of Ryonosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is, his cousin. That's right. Ryutaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for his trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers. Any of them.
What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy. How dare you! Susato is every bit as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I would have you making fun of her. Her? Oh, Please be careful, Ray. What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not. I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in these shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are want to flit.
Just like looking around wildly. The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interest. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock. Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense, to determine whether you're sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now, this same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even a law, he passed his test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions?
Alright, it's time to prove myself.
Ah, she did it. Naruhodo. Naruhodo does that too.
Yes, Your Excellency, but please do make them simple.
Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Whew, that is simple. I can forget that if I try.
You forgot, didn't you?
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, mines are, what, blank.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position, and that guy's. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances.
Oh dear.
This is a dismal failure. Don't fret. You need only use the knowledge you gain as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course, the court record.
Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the court record. That's right. Just use RB to open a court record.
What's RB?
Then you need to flip to the people. Oh god, I don't need to. Sorry, I'm just gonna skip this. And don't take too long over it. Saxon is watching you closely.
Alright, check the court record with RB. That's where the information I need will be.
Her name is Giselle Brett. Ouch, yeah. Giselle Brett. Okay, Giselle Brett. I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case? Taketsuchi Aochi. I'm gonna murder you! Look at the prosecutor. Giselle Brett. Oh, she's doing the hand thing.
The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett.
A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you will be well aware of the significance of that name. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why then is her name indelibly associated with our own empire's judicial history? Obviously, you wouldn't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is included in the court record.
Obviously, I still remember her. I still remember. That was the start of everything. Giselle Brett, behind the woman's student persona, was the face of a killer. 9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain, and it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead. I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotoba. Oh, the judge is talking, I think. Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryonosuke Naruhodo. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense and exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Giselle Brett. Karma. Okay, look, you know what? I don't know if she deserved to die, but she killed someone, okay? Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead.
Why Shanghai? There's a British consular court there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship.
And yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed.
Only the day before.
Order?
No, that's not him. That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant. Oh. Domo arigato. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Over the first hurdle.
Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Aochi. Whoop, whoop.
As is your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in the broad daylight.
Wasn't she killed in like a close-off area?
On the outskirts of the imperial capital under a bright blue sky at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lungs, an injury which proved fatal. There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett in her bathing attire, and the accused, remember me. Accordingly, there can be no doubt about the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Where's the murder weapon? Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
Certainly true. Prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel what he said about.
Powerful motive, I guess. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
It's the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand.
I beg your pardon.
No matter, let us put this to the accused, shall we? Memba-mi-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial University, I believe.
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment. I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work at Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then?
Oh, I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson. Dr. Wilson? The visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago? That's not motive.
The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she's done. Powerful hatred. Shut up! Don't!
Oh no.
Ray, be careful what you're saying.
Oh. The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, it was clearly a trap all along. How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that.
I must find out more details and something we can use to bolster our defense.
As a lawyer,
I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel and what he said about
being alone together? I don't know. Memba-mi-san.
Yes, what is it, Susa?
I mean, Naruhodo-san.
I'm really starting to wish we made my last Ryutaro Susato.
Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place, and why you were alone with her.
Oh, well, no, that's not true.
I wasn't like that at all.
There were other people present. A detective was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all. But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else.
Where's the murder weapon, Aochi?
Truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
Why did she take so long if she wanted to kill him?
No. Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
I mean, why would she take so long to do it? Kindly refrain from conjecture, counsel. Prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now, at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him go with you.
Oh dear, this is really terrifying. But Father's right, we need more information. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel and what he said about...
I guess the bathing spot. That's the only one left.
If I may, Prosecutor Aochi. What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
Ha! My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused a poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins.
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, have been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on your government to comply.
But on what grounds would we agree to such a request? Because, as usual, our government's unable to stand up to foreign powers. So it just looks at the judge like that. Like a slide. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, professors. The government who granted permission, not I. In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
But in fact, a murder took place.
I said don't look at me! It was that young student girl did it, not I.
No one has proved that yet. I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. I believe we all have a clearer picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions. Seeing the murder of the mentor for whom she had such great respect enjoying such undeserved liberty? Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai, you can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Poor Ray. So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit, a photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image. Looks like she got poisoned, actually. Oh, wait. But she got stabbed.
As you can clearly see, there's nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
That's a fair point. The court will accept this photographic print as evidence. Photographic, okay. Stab wound, victim back clearly visible, okay. As I understand it, then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. Sorry! I'm just looking at this. Cause of death. Time of death is 2 p.m. Assertion by examination of the statements. Single stab, deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung. Fatal hemorrhage, death would have occurred within minutes. Extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes. What does meiosis mean? She was holding a pen. She had feathers around her. Her duck's probably dead. A swan, sorry. A brush, her thing was there, there's some ice there, a bottle of something. Okay. Nothing that can tell us anything so far. Alright. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution is much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we had multiple witnesses to the crime, and damning evidence.
Witnesses? But who? I thought it was just the two of them in there.
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective.
Oh, is it that guy again? What's his name?
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt. Ah.
Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
Aye, Taketsuchi Aoji, I've been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me.
Your hair, you mean?
Yep.
What? Yeah?
This insult to the Aoji family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Flip.
Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day my former self died.
Start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, counsel?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the Aoji growth. You see the seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expense of my crown. I think that tiny girl was trying to tell me something.
I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly? She's like it's like squinting.
I said silence! Today, I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you. And my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
Looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. The prosecution and defense each has much to lose. A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. Oh, sorry, I think Susato said that. You again. You again! What the hell?
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna cut the first episode short. Like, I kind of always like to leave the first episode short just to see how it goes. You know, if people like it, if people don't, and then we'll see what happens. But I feel like maybe the developers are like, you know what? We don't want to make more new characters. Let's just use the same old ones. And we know those two, the same two people. The detective, I can't remember his name, but he was there in the very first case as well. I think he was there at the second case too. And the other guy is Suseki Natsume, so he's actually a real person. I mentioned this a while back when we were covering his trial. He was actually on trial in England. Suseki Natsume is actually a real person. You can look him up. I think he was a poet or a writer, or both. I can't remember. But yeah, you can look it up. But anyway, like I said, I think I'll leave this episode short. Just to get a feel of how people react to this. I know the game's kind of pretty old already, like a lot of people have already kind of recorded it, but you know, I kind of want to continue on, at least finish it off myself, and then we'll see what happens. So yeah, for now, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. As always, be safe, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace!